Hello, everybody. I'm Mr.LimeSmiles. We're here trying out the podcast format. Ain't that right?
Yes, it's me, Julian, that boy, and you are correct. We're trying out the podcast format because one day we were just talking and realized we've been talking for like 2 hours, and we're just like,
Yeah, we can talk for a while about nothing.
yeah, and it, we do, it,
Absolutely nothing. Like pointless conversations.
and then like it would always like derail and would be like first we start out here and then we end up there, and then we would both say,
What are we talking about? Yeah. Like, none of us remember what the original conversation's about.
Where did it start out from? Because and then we have to like dissect it and like, oh wait,
I think we just just yesterday we were talking specifically about what was it?
It was about location and movies and their final battles.
No. First, um, it was about Infinity War. I was complaining that Infinity War's ending wasn't as dramatic as the other places, the end game's ending, because one was at Wakanda and one was at the
Avengers.
Yeah, upstate New York Avengers base, which I just felt was less dramatic than Wakanda. And then we ended up just eventually talking about the geopolitical state of World War II Japan.
Yeah, it was.
And the transition period between feudalism and the modernization of Japan. So
Yeah, and then like
it was a strange strange transition.
do you have to keep interrupting?
Yes, I'm switching between me and you, so yes, I will interrupt you.
All right. Either way, I'm just saying that like, and then we both were like, what are we talking about? And then we were just like, podcast idea. Did that mess it up?
No.
Okay.
What?
I just wanted to be sure I didn't mess up with anything, you know?
You're good. You're good. You're good. Don't worry about it. You're good.
Okay.
Anyway, so we're basically going to be continuing that conversation, and we're going to be discussing movies today. Movies in general, really. Julian could go ahead and start with something that he's been thinking about lately. But yeah, just sit back and enjoy. We're just going to be discussing. Leave a comment if you guys have anything you want to correct us about, because we're either incorrect or stupid as all hell and just don't understand what the hell we're talking about. Yeah. Leave a comment. Correct me. I'd like to know.
Yeah, like literally one of our comments just like about a video game and how we were moving too fast because it's liquids. I'm like, oh, that's very helpful.
Nah, don't worry about it. Let's just talk about the
Well,
movie
I'm
thing.
just saying it was very helpful. I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and plus it was from someone random, so it was all nice. So.
Yeah, movies.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about movies. Okay, so the movie.
So I guess let's just start. Like, have you decided which one's your favorite film? Like, it's obvious which one's mine, Jurassic Park. But what's your Citizen Kane, Julian? Not necessarily the most well-crafted, but specifically for your taste. What tickles your belly button the best?
Tickles my belly button. What type of phrasing is that?
You tickle babies' belly buttons. It makes them happy.
No, you. Okay.
Well, that's what you do. It makes them laugh. What makes you the most happy in a movie? What's your number one movie? Mine, again, Jurassic Park. But what's yours?
Okay, so I've
I don't think that's a bad analogy.
Yes. Either way.
I think it's a perfect analogy. Perfect analogy.
For some reason, I thought I'd say what tickles your prickle, because that's.
I was trying not to say pickle, but okay. Can we get to the movie topic, please?
What's wrong with the pickle?
Just get to the movie topic.
Okay. So, like, if I had to think of, like, a really good movie, like, sometimes, well, I don't know, because it usually depends on, like, the mood I'm in, because.
Not a good movie. I'm asking what's your favorite movie. Not a good movie. I'm asking what's your favorite movie, of all time.
Favorite movie of all time. The one that I can watch constantly and be like, yes, this is a good movie.
Come on, you've had time to think about this.
Well, yeah, but most of the time, I'm just like, oh, that's a good movie, but I can't think of
I ask you this question all the time, though.
Yeah, but I can never.
You never have an answer.
Yes, because movies constantly come out, and I've seen good movie after good movie, and like bad movie.
But there's got to be one in particular that you thoroughly enjoy, though.
Well, it depends.
Like what? Which one do you keep coming back to over time and time again? It can be anything. It could be like a Disney thing. It could be Care Bears. It could be I can't think of a Care Bear movie because I don't like Care Bears.
Are there Care Bear movies?
Oh yeah, tons and tons of Care. You know there are tons of Care Bear movies.
I don't know. Because I figured like they're all like shorts or like things that don't last.
There are total like feature length films of Care Bear films. They haven't got like that CGI Sonic treatment yet, but they're getting there. I'm pretty sure Care Bears are making a resurgence. They're coming back.
I haven't heard a single thing about Care Bears, but okay.
They're coming back for us.
CG, that just reminded me. Apparently, the new Dragon Ball movie, which is I think called, actually don't know.
Superhero Dragon Ball.
Yeah, something about that.
It's really called Dragon Ball Super Hero.
Yeah, something like that, and it's
The name makes me angry.
Why does the name make you angry?
They call it Super Hero. Why?
Well, I don't.
It makes it feel like they're trying to bank in on like the superhero genre, which is not exactly what what Dragon Ball was. It's more of a kung fu. Well, not really a kung fu movie. It's more of like a samurai film style story structure, I think.
A fighting thing, but I get what you mean. But like,
Well, but it's not like Bruce Lee trying to. Well, I guess it is a bit like a fighting movie. You're right. It is more of like a fighting movie structure than the samurai one, because it's just the samurai one is, oh, someone has come to our village to conquer us and destroy all our people. I will defeat him. He defeats him, and that's kind of the basic structure. Yeah, but hold on, wait a minute. Let's just, because I want the answer to this. I've been waiting for so long for the answer to this. What is your favorite film, though?
but the point I was trying to get off on is that the next Dragon Ball movie is supposed to be like incomplete CG. But yes, my favorite film that I can think of offhand, that like
Offhand, I've been asking you for like a year.
yeah, but anytime I think about it, I'm like, wait, does this have to deal with watchability? Because like there are certain movies that I watched once.
It just needs to be something that's ridiculously good to you.
And I loved it.
And you loved it, yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, because like there's this one movie from like two movies actually, which is like the Blade Runner movies. Those movies are great, but they're like so long. I don't really want to re-watch them. But like watching the scenes over again, I'm just like, oh, that's beautiful. That's mind provoking, and like
They are cinematic masterpieces, yes.
they're like really good films. While another film that I think is really great is like Pacific Rim, where its literal stories is giant robots fight monsters.
Yes, it is just giant robots fight monster. It's good, though. It's good in popcorn film kind of way. Well, those are two different, like, structures for films, I think. There's the one that is a cinematic masterpiece that is designed to provoke intricate feelings within a person and its audience, and maybe say something profound about the world in which it exists in, or the world that we exist in ourselves, and our innermost desires and thoughts towards, like, our emotional state and everything that's been going on in the world. And then there's the films that are just fun, that are just like super entertaining and just like cool. Those are kind of two totally different things, but I'm asking more for the most impactful to you. So if you're more of an artsy fartsy movie guy, you'd probably say something like Citizen Kane. But for me, I'm more of the action hero, monster flick kind of guy. So I go Jurassic Park.
So if you're talking about a movie that's been very impactful.
Also, I love nature documentaries as well. Just want to drop that.
Yes, quite. The tiny ferret goes.
Focus!
Okay, fine. If I had to say one that's been impactful to me as a person, and that kind of has like shaped of what I've liked today, I gotta say like maybe Star Wars Episode 3. That's one I most remember.
Wait. Episode 3 specifically?
Revenge of the Sith, dude.
Yeah, I agree that it's a good film, but
I liked it. I watched it a lot. There are some parts that I don't like. That I'm just like, okay, so she just lost the will to live. I was a kid, so I'm like, okay, that happens, right? And the the whole with Darth Vader, I'm like, oh, because, like, nowadays I'm looking at him, like, okay, I can see what went wrong. But I remember, like, watching it as I was young, I'm just like, oh no, the person's dead, oh. And just, like, loving the fight scenes and with the prune and the tiny dried up green raisin and
But episode 3's your Citizen Kane, is what you're saying?
it's like you said, some movies are just like really like, because Citizen Kane's like an artsy movie. Like you said, I've never watched Citizen Kane really. I've never watched it. I'm sorry. I know we have a review channel.
You have to watch it now. Now you have to watch it, and we're gonna do a review on it.
I haven't watched a lot of movies, to be perfectly honest. I mainly watch movies because, hey, we're watching a movie. There's like some movies I'm interested.
It's Citizen Kane, though. Come on.
Is that the one where the guy's like Rosebud?
Yes, that is the famous line. That's the start of the movie, Rosebud.
Oh yeah.
It's his dying words. He says that word, and everybody wants to figure out why he said it. And he's like a super millionaire Bezos kind of guy, so they think it's something important.
Speaking of Jeff Bezos, that apparently he went to space. Did he go to space?
Yes, he went to space on a penis.
Penis? What?
You know he went to space on a penis.
Anytime I brought it up, you said, "Oh, everything's phallic."
It is everything's phallic, but you're the one that mentioned it was a penis.
Well, I'm just saying because it looked very round on top, and I don't know if that's.
All right. I don't want to talk about penises. I want to talk about movies.
But I'm just saying because it was like very round for some reason.
All right. But so episode 3, why is that? Why is that one in particular?
I don't know.
More than episode 4 or 6 or 5?
Well, the thing about like with Star Wars is that I watched it in chronological order because I was too young to have watched the original films, even like normally. So I remember watching The Phantom Menace first. And I don't know any of the setup. All I know is giant horn demon with a dual-bladed sword that glows is fighting two long-haired hippies.
Hippies. Did you just call Qui-Gon Jinn a hippie?
Yes, I called Qui-Gon.
Yikes.
Because they're all like nice and peaceful and whatever, and they.
I guess they do have laser swords and cut people in half, though. I wouldn't call them peaceful, but okay. Focus. Focus. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. It's just a cat. Don't worry about it. There's a cat at the door.
I just thought he was a great guy. My feet.
No, focus. Focus. Okay. Movie. So why episode 3 of all movies? Of all the movies. We're not just talking about Star Wars films. Of every single movie in the world, that's your number 1?
Well, you're talking about movies that has been impactful to me because you watched Jurassic Park when you were like how old?
What?
How old were you when you saw Jurassic Park?
The first time?
Yes. And you didn't start with 1, did you?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I started with episode 1, or the first movie. Watched the second movie later, and then I saw the third one in theaters. And I'm not exactly sure when was the first time I saw it. I don't remember the first time I ever viewed it, but I saw it at home on a TV screen, and because I was like a baby when I was, when it was made. But yeah, so and I liked it a little, an obscene amount.
Well, like when it was like 2003 when the Phantom Menace came out, right?
2003?
Was it 2003? Because it was sometime during the 2000s that the first 3 movies came out, right?
Yeah, the first is, I don't know the date. We could Google it real quick just to check. I'm pretty sure it was like 2002 though.
Yeah, because I remember I was definitely young enough.
Hold on. Go get that real quick. Sorry, this is how podcasts go. But yeah, Phantom Menace came out in 1999. Yeah, because it was before 9/11. That makes sense. So 1999. That's when that one came out, Jillian. You just must have watched it on DVD in 2003 or so.
Probably because, like,
No, yeah, because you saw Clone Wars the first in theaters. We had you watch Phantom Menace before, but you watched Clone Wars, and then we didn't watch or you watched the older ones later.
Clone Wars. It was Attack of the Clones, Mick.
Whatever, you know what I mean. Attack of the
Yes,
Clones.
Attack of the
I'm
Clones.
trying to erase that film from my memory,
One
please.
of the worst Star Wars films. Not to mention.
The worst.
Do you think you haven't seen You haven't seen Rise of Skywalker, have you?
True. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's a fair criticism.
That movie makes me as a Star Wars fan. That movie makes me so not
That's
angry,
a fair criticism,
not
though.
angry, but just disappointed on what direction they went to. I'm pretty sure some people like it. Few that you may be, but I was just most of the time I'm like, wait, what? They're going with that? It's like, why? You could have done this and it would have been so much.
Spoilers for Rise of Skywalker.
I'm not saying anything that
I'm just
Directly
saying
says it.
we're talking movies right now, so it's probably gonna be spoilers. Spoilers for all movies. Let's just say this right now. All movies are spoilers.
Spoilers, all movies. I just either way, Rise of Skywalker. Just why? Well, and Attack of the Clones is like
Episode 3, why?
episode 3 is great.
But number 1?
It was the one that I loved and watched the most.
Do you not like Episode 4, New Hope?
I mean, I was born in 19. I was born on the birthday of
We know.
October 10th of 1997.
Trust me, we know. You're not too old. We know.
Yes, I know. I'm not too old. Either way, I did not have that flavor of nostalgia and
Neither did I, though. I didn't have nostalgia either.
watching for 4, 5, and 6, and I don't think I saw 4, 5, and 6 until 2006. While I watched I don't even know when the third one came out, but I definitely watched them all in chronological order. So then when I see oh look, it's the baby who Padme had named Luke. Okay. And I was
Just okay?
no, I'm just oh look, they're continuing the story with those characters, and he's kind of like a whiny little brat. All right, but then he became better, became actually a strong character.
I do agree Obi-Wan is the emotional center of all the films.
Oh
though.
yes, the quiet wise one. Even in the first 3, he you can see that a bit of young. I don't know what other word to use than spunk, but young spunk in him. And then when you see him in the other 3, he's a wise old man now, learning the ways.
In the course of only a few years too.
Well, who knows? Well, actually, yeah, it's maybe 18 years because that's assuming Luke is 18 by the time he fights the Empire. But yeah.
He is 18, they say.
Okay. He also gets really old in 18 years.
But you don't like... Yeah, but you don't like... he is a war hero, but you don't like Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back? That thing's a classic.
I know it's a classic to some, but I still like it. It's
You like Episode 3 more than Episode 5, though.
No, Episode 3 just had this cool turn of a character that you may have seen coming if you saw the other films, but I didn't. So it was a surprise to me.
Oh, well, I wasn't... Well, I guess I did watch... Okay, after I watched Episode 1, I watched all the other ones, but, Go ahead.
So, with Episode 5, its main twist is that... spoilers. That Darth Vader is Luke's father. I'm I already knew that! So, I know that's a big twist for people in the 80s or 70s or whenever the movie came out. They're just what? This is some Shakespearean shit here. And I'm just I already knew that.
You're I know! I watched the movies.
I watched the movies that came out years after this. That just also reminds me of some things when people make sequels to things that originally weren't
Prequels.
No, things that originally weren't meant to have sequels.
What do you mean?
There was with yeah, you're right, prequels, sequels. Because with I've been playing a lot of Red Dead lately, and in the original there's no mention of the character that you play as in Red Dead 2. But like they have this storyline like, oh, he just doesn't like to talk about him anymore because it's like the past and he wants to move on or whatever. But like that character does a lot in Red Dead 2, which is a prequel. That character does a lot to save that other character's ass, and it just makes me feel like that other character's a bit ungrateful that he saved your ass multiple times and you don't even talk about him.
Well, I don't know. I haven't really played through the campaign of that game.
Yeah, I know, and it's like another emotional story. But whatever, I'm getting off topic, and
No, it's fine.
yeah, I'm.
But like, still though, you don't like Boba Fett. You don't like the worm attack.
To Boba Fett fans, I know Boba Fett's cool, but he died very dumbly.
But that wasn't in episode 5 though. You can't put the sins of episode 6 onto episode 5.
That's true.
Like they didn't do that to him yet.
I know, but with like episode 5, like he was, the concept of bounty hunters were like added to episode 5, and it was pretty cool and interesting. But I don't know, like maybe it's because like I don't know, because like if I watched the 4, 5, 6 first, I probably would have had a more heart. What's the word? A better understanding or a more connection to the characters than I did from like 1, 2, 3. But like I said, I watched 1, 2, 3 first, so I was more interested in Anakin and Obi-Wan or Darth Vader, that sort of thing. And Darth Vader, by the way, is like, why is he so cool? You know, why is that character just?
They made him. They designed him that way. What do you mean?
I know, like sometimes like with other characters that like try to emulate that thing's just like, ooh, you're not doing it right or whatever, you know. But like,
Well, he wasn't really emulating anything. Like Darth Vader is pretty well. He's sort of a mash patch of several things, but he's pretty original in his character design.
well, I mean, like with like the way the character acts too, is because like
Well, he just acts like a relentless, bloodthirsty dictator with space powers.
yes, because he's a wizard. Ooh.
Ooh. Well, the whole story is about space wizards, so
Technically, they're sorcerers if you want to get the technical terms. Ooh.
whatever. We're not talking technical terms. We're talking about Star Wars. But yeah. So I mean, like, but how is that? Okay.
Are you just mad that I like episode 3 more than any of the other films?
No, I'm just trying to understand because I just feel like there are a lot of better movies.
Well, it's also like the nostalgia.
Like I get it because it's like the conclusion of a 3-movie series that we've all been super invested in. That's true, and it's like the conclusion portion, which is usually the most satisfying. Not always, but usually. And like it was planned from the start how it was going to end. Most anyone that's seen the other ones knows what's going to happen. Well, kind of. They know one thing at least, that Anakin becomes Darth Vader and Obi-Wan runs away for some reason, but they didn't know why.
But yeah, that like I don't know, like that film has like a big tug of nostalgia on me, cause like I just remember the scenes. I remember like a majority of it in my head, and it lives like just nestled right in there. Just always like, oh, that scene where they're fighting on Mustafar and the lava and the swords and the music's crescendoing and just both fights are like playing simultaneously while everything seems to be falling apart in the world. It's just it just like wrenches on my feelings, and it's just like, yes, more.
I will say that there hasn't been a more I will say that there hasn't been a more epic movie that I can think of in recent history that's ever like come out after episode 3. Like in just its grand scale and everything, I think like Star Wars is really epic, if you know what I mean. And I think that might be what's partially drawing you to the film over say like episode 6 and episode 5, which are less epic but more personalized stories.
Yeah, you're right. But then I just also remembered, like, when you're thinking about Darth Vader, that Rogue One scene in that hallway.
Oh, this is Rogue One. That's way later.
Yeah, I know.
After the fact.
Yeah, I know it's way later, and that movie like takes like a favorite Star Wars movie. That thing is like a battle.
Oh yeah, that's one. That's one of my favorite Star Wars movies. Rogue One. That one's one of my favorites. I think it's really well made.
Like especially that ending scene with him. You just see like it's like when seeing like your favorite hero, not favorite hero. It's like seeing a villain that you really like. Not only the fact that he's like
Favorite character.
your favorite character. Well, I'm just saying like with that scene is because like he's so terrifying, especially during that time. You just like, and then you realize what's gonna happen in that scene. You're just like, oh no, these guys are fucked. You know. You just realize you know what's gonna happen, and you wonder if it's gonna be cool. And then they just like shut off the lights in that scene, and everything's just basically lit up by shots and blades. Like there's this one scene in that third Batman movie with Christian Bale, where it's the third movie, right? Where like he's like shooting at Batman.
Yeah, it's a
but
good
like
one.
it's the muzzle flash that reveals him. You just see him keep getting closer and closer, and closer. Kind of looks dumb.
No,
but
wait.
it's also, like,
No, that one wasn't the third Batman. Wasn't that one?
It was because it has like Catwoman in it. And he's
Oh,
just
yeah.
Like, he's just like do, 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 and it's just like through the muzzle flash, and it's like that's an interesting scene. But then I look at Rogue One's scene, and I was like, that did it better.
Yeah, well, those are two different types of scenes, I think, because one was the dramatic reveal of an action scene that the characters would not be expecting. Anyone watching the movie was not expecting that. I'm talking about the Rogue One scene.
Yeah,
No, it was not expecting that. It was pure fan service. Because if you'd only watched that film, you'd see this guy walking around, but you'd be like, "Who the hell is he?" You know?
What?
It's like, it's okay. It's a guy in a cape with some armor on.
Yeah, and
He seems to have some type of power, like magic power, which is a bit weird. Again, this is looking at it as a person that's like only watched Rogue One. Although I think they did because they introduced the Force through Idway, that is justified to an extent. But like, if you don't have that emotional connection to Darth Vader, I don't think the scene hits as hard. But since we all do, and we all know how much of an absolute terrifying badass that guy actually is, seeing him shown as a badass finally after we've been waiting for so long and so many years, it was very satisfying, and I find that as a Star Wars fan to be very enjoyable.
Not to mention people who are like first watchers, like why is this weird dictator with like red glasses or eyes like on his visor just make a dad joke?
Yeah, that was weird. Well, that was just, even the fans were like, huh?
Yeah, it's just like James Earl Jones is like, can I make a dad joke?
And whoever was recording, I forget who it was like, sure.
Like I really want to make a dad joke.
I really, really want to make a dad joke.
And like whoever was directing the film was like, I guess, you know, I guess we'll just cut it out, but it never got cut out.
Yeah. No, I feel like that's something they could have cut. There's a lot of things that they should have added. I don't know. The final cut of that film is completely crazy. Apparently it's completely different than the original cut, which I still want to see. We got the Justice League Snyder cut. I want to see the original cut of the Star Wars Rogue One. Because the advertising was way better. Or not better, but it was way different than the final product. I think both were good, but the advertising sold me on something else, so I was not expecting what we ended up getting.
And I will also agree that I wrote like what was that other film? Oh yeah, the Snyder Cut. Oh yeah, I will agree the Snyder Cut was a little bit better than the original movie because I actually saw the original movie, as you can tell.
The fuck you mean a little bit better?
I mean, like, I don't know.
You've seen Steppenwolf. Come on.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes, Steppenwolf.
You cannot say original Steppenwolf was even remotely terrifying.
No, he looked like he was. It was. It was.
He
Terrible.
looked like Generation 1 PlayStation.
No, it wasn't even that. He just looked like a dude in a suit with a helmet. Like, not. It wasn't a very interesting design. I'm like, what is this? Like when you look at Zack Snyder's design, I'm like, okay.
Zack Snyder's Steppenwolf though. Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Way better. Way not the most terrifying, I will say, but better.
We also cover this in our review of the Snyder Cut, by the way.
Yes, hashtag Snyder Cut.
I was gonna say make sure to go watch that video, but yes, hashtag Snyder.
Also, like, share, subscribe, Blind Smiles. Just halfway marker, so I'm just shooting it right there. Blind Smiles, YouTube, subscribe. Probably already watching this on YouTube, but still, just shooting it out there.
Well, either way, and I don't know. Like everyone wants, like, oh, I want the original cut, and I'm like, but what if it's already scrapped and like deleted forever from the files?
No, not necessarily. They could have it. You don't know.
You think there's a cut of the movie Avatar with M. Night Shyamalan that actually makes it better?
No, M. Night Shyamalan didn't work on Avatar. What do you mean?
No, Avatar as in like
Oh, The Last Airbender?
Airbender, yeah.
Well, that's Shyamalan. That is different. I don't think he even watched the cartoon, so.
Yeah, I have a quick question. Why did they put like a highly known horror director for a kids show?
He's not really a horror director. He's more of a suspense thriller kind of guy.
But why put that in The Last Airbender? Why have the person who wants to do the movie for
Name recognition. You see Shyamalan and you're like, oh, this does ought to be good, and then you buy the ticket.
I remember looking at the trailers for that movie. It looked god awful in the trailers.
Well, they weren't planning on making a good movie. They just wanted to sell seats.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, cause that whole sales.
I think that was perfect, just 100% a marketing decision. I don't think they cared much.
That also reminds me like of the whole Black Widow problem with the whole thing. Like the whole movie was put on hold for like wasn't released in.
Well, that was partially the virus, you know.
Yeah,
I think it was partially like one. They didn't think that Black Widow was popular enough to hold down her own film, like initially, and they felt like it was too risky of a bet and didn't fit into the narrative that they wanted to tell in the MCU. But because the fans liked her so much, she ended up being Boba Fetted, and they're like, all right, well, we get to make your own movie then, just because the fans like you so much. But then it just gets sidelined, it gets backlogged, and it just becomes. And then her character gets killed off, so it loses all tension too. Just bad. 7 different.
I'm just saying, like, I've seen things and like articles like, oh, Black Widow movie didn't sell because people didn't like watching enough and like only watched it on the streaming services or whatever. It didn't like sell enough. I'm like, dude, I hate to tell you this, but the movie was okay. It wasn't gonna make a lot of money, you know. Like, I hate to tell the people who like are writing this thing or like telling these people on the online saying, oh, this movie did bad because.
Wait, so you're saying critics crashed its ratings?
No, I'm saying like people are saying, oh, the movie's like bad. The movie like didn't sell good because of like streaming services, you know.
Well, that's their opinion. They're thinking that the movie would have sold better if it was primarily theater release.
Mulan sell better?
It sold really good, yeah.
Yeah, but that was exclusively. What was it? Was it in theaters? I can't.
It was in theaters, and it was also on a premiere release and streaming.
Yeah. The thing that sucks about Disney Plus, like, I like how HBO Max is doing. It's like, hey, it releases on this day in both theaters and streaming service. So like, all we have to do is just watch it on that day, like at midnight, and then we're like, oh yeah, it's up, it's free. While Disney's like, hey, I want $30.
Yep. Disney's a bitch.
I mean, like,
Disney's a money grubbing bitch.
hey, and just so you know,
Fuck Disney.
just so you know, for future, make sure to cut this out if we ever get a brand deal with Disney.
Fuck Disney. I will say it right here. Fuck Disney. I don't like their business practices.
And also,
I like their products, but I don't think that's as a result of their business practices.
yeah, I mean, like, with the whole, like, that just made me think about The Mandalorian, and, like, do you know when the book of...
Sorry.
Do you know when the Book of Boba Fett's supposed to even come out?
No clue.
Okay, because, like, I'm just like, I want a Mandalorian Season 3.
Okay, I will say this, though. I don't like all their products, but I thoroughly enjoyed their products over the years, but as a business, I don't like their business practices, and I don't want to support it if I, have a choice.
Product do you not like from Disney?
Several products, but I won't get too much into that here. Let's just go ahead and get to what were you talking about, the Book of Boba Fett now?
Well, yeah. Well, I just realized you didn't even say it loud enough, Mick. You didn't say
To
like,
say what?
you didn't say like, what are we talking about?
Oh, no. I know what we're talking about. We're talking about Disney.
Well, yeah, because I was just like curious. I'm like, when is that supposed to come out? Is that supposed to come out next year?
Our corporate overlords.
Corporate overlords.
Well, how do you feel about monopolization then, Jolene?
Monopolization?
Yeah.
I don't know. I hate it.
Do you think it's important for a business to thrive in a capitalist society to be solely competitive and focused on only bringing in profit as their top priority motion as a business, and that we should only incentivize the goal of providing profit towards the shareholders and or the CEO or owner of the business and the country in which it resides in?
I don't know. I just hated that anytime I have to pass go, I have to collect $200.
Well, I'm asking you a real political question. How do you feel about monopolization? Some people make the argument that, like, no, it's a good thing. We want, all one type of thing because it consolidates everything and makes it cheaper. And I'm like,
doesn't that make it so then when, like, if that thing, like, makes the wrong business decision, then, like, everything else falls apart?
kind of, but not really. It's more that the more that you eliminate competitors, the less the business has to attempt to create a good product. Because they don't have to try as hard because they have no competition. There is no motivation. That's the idea in capitalism, is that competition breathes creativity and breathes progress, which I think is true to a certain extent, specifically with businesses. I think businesses do need competition, and they do need variety versus solely focusing on one product, especially in something like an entertainment product like Disney and making films that sell toys and make theme parks and stuff. I think that's something that should be a competitive race, unlike something like healthcare, which I don't think should be competitive at all because that's just cruel and you're killing people.
I was trying to make a healthcare joke, then I realized I don't know that much about healthcare.
It's okay. We can keep on Disney.
Well,
But monopolization? What's your opinion on it?
I mean, monopolization.
I mean, most people agree that it's bad. Not everybody, but most people agree that it's not healthy for a capitalist society. But what's your opinion? Have you thought about it?
No. To be perfectly honest, no.
You never think about those types of business decisions?
I just think about...
They run your world.
Yeah, I know they run my world. When I also run my world... Words don't work. What else runs my world? Soda.
Soda's a monopoly, too.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I was just trying to make a joke about soda, but either way, that didn't work.
Okay.
I can't think of what jokes to make. But in all honesty, yes, things need to experiment, and if that requires a little competition, because you just don't want the same old sandwich from the same old shop every day. You want them.
Well, I'm not talking about nutrients in food. Again, that's different. I'm talking.
I mean, sure, you can eat the same soup and get all the nutrients you need, but wouldn't you want that soup to have a little bit more oregano or thyme leaves, or just you want to try something out, or have a Chick-fil-A sauce, have a corn dog drenched in Chick-fil-A sauce, You want to try something out. What, have you not tried that?
Not a corn dog.
It's good. It's good.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. Okay.
I mean, next time we get some of that sauce, I can give you one.
Yeah. Next time. But, I get what you mean. Well, so you're saying that we should not regulate the businesses because that the government or the people themselves will provide the regulation through their wallets and through their purchases then?
I don't know what I was just saying that things well,
I'm saying that do you think that the people will not buy Disney movies if they're shit, even though they're the only movie?
I mean, some people will buy them. I'm not saying that they'll enjoy them, but I'm just saying with like things nowadays, people are probably like, you know what, I can make something better. I'm gonna try to make something better, and that thing, like especially nowadays, might grow and might actually become a business, that sort of thing.
Well, there were businesses like that. Disney ate them.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Ate them up like that soup.
And just like, you make that special soup for us now.
Well, let's hear your Disney soup. It's Mulan. Modern Mulan again. Oh, like we had Mulan 10 years ago.
It's
You get Mulan again.
It's Mulan, and it's back to reanimated. In fact, we've copied everything frame by frames. It's just the same movie.
No, it's not. It's not the same. It's a worse movie.
It's a worse movie because we got.
It's a copy coded of their new formula that they're just sort of running to the ground. I don't know why.
I don't know either.
I think they're trying to be progressive and they're trying to see how much they can get away with and still make a shit ton of money. Definitely trying to still figure out how much they're going to get away with and make a shit ton of money.
That just reminds me, like the thing that I hate. Like, it's just like when I see like actors like and stuff of like things I used to watch as a kid, and they're like teenagers or whatever. I'm like, oh look, it's them. I wonder how they're doing now, and they're just like either like incredibly depressed or like heavily medicated, and I'm just like, oh, what happened? And it's like, it's because of like what they had to go through sometimes, like when like
Real world's different than movie world, dude.
I know, I'm just saying, like, it's heartbreaking. I'm like, oh no, that person's like going through all this thing, but I remember watching them do the thing, and like their smile on their face.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's just heartbreaking seeing that, like with Demi Lovato and some of these other people that.
Well, you got to remember that when you're watching them in the movie, one, it's them acting, and then two, it's just a moment in time in their lives. It's not all their life. Like it seems like because you don't know anything about them, it's all their life, but it's not really. You're just putting them on like this idealistic pedestal because they were in a movie that you liked, you know. And in the real world, you as that person, it just life happens. Life's crazy. Life's shitty at times. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's bad. It's part of being alive. You know.
Yeah. Now how the fuck did we get to this?
Well, we could run through the tape, but we're not gonna.
Okay.
What is it
Well,
you
either
wanted
way,
me
I'm
to
just
say?
saying,
How did we get here?
How did we get
Oh,
here?
wow.
More accurately, what are we talking about?
Yeah, what are we talking about?
How did we get to like the depression of like child actors?
Yeah, child actors.
Oh my god.
Well, we're still on the movie topic.
Either way,
so.
Star Wars Episode 3 is my favorite movie.
Still don't. I don't see it, but okay, I'll take it.
Puts on glasses. But yeah, like, why is like, you never really stated your reason why Jurassic Park is your favorite movie.
What?
Is it because, dinosaurs, or just like, oh, it's a cool action movie, it's like, it's got a nice steady pace, and like, you like the action, you like how the scene flows into the other, or you glare over the plot holes, like, how the fuck is this dinosaur standing over this massive ridge?
Oh, that plot hole, Jesus Christ.
Clearly he was like standing on something just a second ago, like, wait, I'm confused.
And then all of a sudden there's this gigantic cliff.
There's this gigantic chasm, so unless the dinosaurs got extendo legs, or it's just like, they didn't think about that, which I think most of that movie's like, hey, we just want to make a movie about dinosaurs. We don't care if this velociraptor is not really the accurate size.
Well, they wanted the velociraptors to be more scary, so they altered them to make them scary. It's true. But, like, to get back to your question was, why do I like Jurassic Park, right?
Yeah, why do you like Jurassic Park so much, and why do you hate Fallen Kingdom?
I don't hate Fallen Kingdom per se.
Have you seen it?
Which one? Fallen Kingdom. Lost World? Jurassic World.
Kingdom.
It's Jurassic World. Yeah, Jurassic World. Fallen Kingdom. Yeah, I've seen it. I've watched it. It's not good. It's not horrible. It's just insulting.
Dinosaurs are apparently gonna take over the world. I mean, like, anytime I think about that movie and its endings, like, I think we got a solution to that, and that's guns.
Yeah, guns. Just guns. And then they make it sound like just because there's a T Rex in New York, all of a sudden, like, it's going to kill all the wildlife in New York and nothing is going to stand up to it. And it'll just make humans extinct somehow. I don't know. I think they're just trying to do that to raise the drama and everything, obviously. But, like, it's stupid. It's a plot. It's a stupid plot that they're trying to sell.
It's like they're trying to make 28 Days Later with dinosaurs for like the third film, but like because like some peace organizations like release all the dinosaurs and it's causing like them just
More like Planet of the Apes.
yeah, but like the remake of the Planet of the Apes was way better than this one.
Well, that's what they were trying to do, though. They were trying to do Planet of the Apes, but with dinosaurs.
Yeah, but like with the Planet of the Apes movies, they give you an emotional connection to like the leader of the apes, like Caesar or whatever. Also, great name for an ape to take over the world. Yes, my name is Caesar.
Well, they say that in the original, too. They talk about Caesar taking over and stuff.
I don't even really like. I haven't seen the original Planet of the Apes. The only Planet of the Apes.
Well, not the first Planet,
Yeah,
but like the Planet of the Apes in general. There's a Caesar that rises up and then takes over things.
Yeah, because I just remind me that like there was an original set of Planet of the Apes, which apparently the sequels went to fighting subterranean tunnel people.
I don't know. I have not seen all the Planet of the Apes.
Like,
It's an odd sci-fi premise in general, because we are the Planet of the Apes. We are those apes. It's like, what if we weren't those apes and there were other apes that took over?
Yeah, and then everyone's just like thinking about
But the apes are obviously a reflection of us and our society.
Return to Monkey. But yeah,
Yes, Return to Monkey.
the like I haven't seen the original one, and like I don't get like the setup of like, oh, they did it, they blew it up, and or whatever. Like looking at the Statue of Liberty.
Well, okay, the setup with that one is that spoilers for Planet of the Apes, the original, but they're flying. They're like, there's this bunch of astronauts that go into space, and they're going to space to like see new worlds and like, I think, not colonize, but like go see new worlds. And it's 3 men and a woman, and they're flying through space, and then the woman dies just randomly because of a malfunction. But the 3 men are alive, and they crash land on a planet. They don't know what planet it is, so they don't know the planet. All they know is that on the planet there's all these ape men, and these ape men have like are civilized. They're like a more simple civilization, but they're very much like ours. They have museums where they put animals on display. They cut them up, and they have like animal pins, and it's sort of like a take on animal cruelty. And then there are people like humans, human-like creatures on the planet, and they're like, oh my gosh, there's people here. But like the people are all dumb and they act like apes. So it's literally just the reverse. The apes are smart and the people are dumb. And then throughout the whole film, they think they're on like another planet. They think they're on this alien world. And they escape, and they're like, okay, now we can go home. If we can get our spaceship, we can fly back home, and we'll be safe. And then you see that, oh no, this is home. We went, something happened, and this is the future, and the future is ape.
The future is monkey.
Monkey.
Even though technically they're apes, and I know you're gonna say that.
It's fine. It's whatever. They are apes, they're not monkeys.
And to be perfectly honest, the only Planet of the Apes movie I've seen was that Tim Burton one.
The Tim Burton one's not as bad as people say.
With...
It's goofy as all hell if you compare it to the original, which is dumb, but like in a more serious way for the time. It's more like the Twilight Zone, and like a Twilight Zone episode than like how the Tim Burton one is. The Tim Burton one's a lot more like, I don't even know, Alice in Wonderland? I can't think of a good allegory for it.
I don't know either. All I'm saying is like I remember that one the most because
Actually, it's a bit like a space version of Gladiator, I think. Is that a good example?
With a space monkey, Jesus? What?
No, wait, Monkey Jesus.
Well, cause like one of the, I think.
Oh yeah, one of the monkeys come back and he's like Monkey Jesus.
Well, cause they think, cause like supposedly the whole civilization started because like a monkey was on there, cause like time shit or whatever.
All right, hold on. This is actually getting annoying. Okay, it's not a monkey. It's a chimpanzee.
Yes, I get it. It's a chimpanzee, and you said you wouldn't correct me.
Well, I
It's not
mean,
technically an ape.
because now you're saying monkey too much.
Anyway, I'm just like, there's this monkey and not monkey,
Chimpanzee.
whatever, chimpanzee, and he's like, oh, it's like, oh, it's the great one. He's supposed to return. And he's like, but yeah, that's
Yes. Ooh, ooh, ha ha.
but yeah.
And then CGI mouths. Ah!
CGI mouse.
CGI monkey mouths. Ah!
Ah, just remember
Not monkey, ape mouths. But yeah.
I just remember the funny wires. She's like, woo! There's people like going all around, just like, yeah.
It's funny. That movie is too funny. The way that it is, it's too funny. It's supposed to be like a serious space drama, but it just comes off as like a hilariosity. A lot in the same way that I think like The Happening did. Similar ways, except one's an action film, one's a suspense horror. But
Both with Mark Wahlberg, by the way.
oh yeah, they're both they both have Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg is just funny in whatever he's doing.
He kind of is. Honestly, even when he's doing serious roles, I end up kind of laughing.
Well, I haven't seen like some of the serious roles that he's been in.
The Planet of the Apes one is more serious. He plays it more straight, but it's funnier when he plays it straight.
No, I'm just saying like there's this one movie I never saw that's supposed to be like based on true events. Like he's a cop or whatever, you know. And I haven't seen that
The
one.
cop one? I thought he was a fireman.
I thought it was like a cop or
I don't know. I had to look up his IMDb and stuff and find it.
All I'm saying is like all
I'm not a huge Mark Wahlberg guy.
I don't know. All the stuff that I've seen him in is just like, that's funny. He's like,
He's a funny guy.
just like him talking to that fake plant in The Happening. Just like, oh, you're not gonna kill me, are you? He's like, that thing's fake. Oh, okay.
I don't remember that scene. I just remember the hot dogs one. But yeah.
That guy is just like, yeah, hot dogs.
Yeah, that guy killed me. I was like, people are dying and you're talking about hot dogs. What is happening?
I mean, what?
I didn't know at first that it was the trees. I just thought it was like some not demon, but like some chemical that was making people go crazy. I didn't know that, oh, it's the trees. It's supposed to be the trees.
Okay. Also, that just makes...
And I got bored halfway through and stopped watching and left.
Okay, so that just reminds me, like, why does M. Night Shyamalan's movies, like, their titles are weird, and sometimes, like, their twists are weird? Like, with The Happening. Why is that the name of the movie? Why not call it, like this was before that the Purge movie happened, like, the unsuspecting Purge, or, like, the silent killer, and just, you know, and I just immediately thought of someone editing that movie together now to call it the silent killer, and just have it so then you just hear like as soon as like everyone like stands still and they start to kill themselves.
Yeah, but I mean, like, The Sixth Sense was a really, really, really good film, though. I'd say.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Sixth Sense?
No, because that whole movie's been spoiled for me.
Well, even knowing it's spoiled, it's still a good movie. You should watch it. Although it's kind of sad.
Yeah, and like I'm just saying, like comparing The Happening with like the upcoming movie. I haven't seen anything on it, but like the title of the movie is just like you could have obviously called it something better instead of just old. Like you could have called it The Time Beach or Sands of Time.
That's a horrible name.
Well, I'm just spitballing here. I'm just saying old.
I mean, but to stick with Shyamalan's shtick, like that's kind of how he names his movies. When he writes.
I'm just saying it doesn't. It's like, hey, do you want to see the movie Old?
I mean,
it doesn't give me any like incentive or like oh.
It's supposed to be purposely vague so that you don't like know exactly what's happening out until you watch it. Then you're like, oh, that's why it's called Old, because it's about people growing old and dying. That's the whole movie. What it's about. It's just poorly executed to a point where it's kind of funny.
I haven't seen anything like spoiler wise on the movie.
I watched spoilers for it, although I haven't seen the whole film. But from what I've seen, it's like I get where he was going with it. It just came out funny. Kind of like with The Happening. I get where they were going. They were supposed to be like people in a crisis situation, people freaking out and doing all these horrible things, and it's like people are the real monsters, versus like this virus that's killing everybody, and it's really just the people that are the problem. But like just the writing is part of the issue. Is that there's all these little moments that were just hilarious. The directing and the writing specifically, that it just comes off as weird, awkward, and hilarious. Just because you're like, what is happening? What? Why is he talking about hot dogs? Why is he talking about hot dogs? This is apocalypse now. Why is he talking about hot dogs?
Yeah, hot dogs. Like, you ever tried a Frankfurter? It's like
Son of a bitch.
it's all like really good, but it's better.
Imagine the mist. Imagine the mist. And then all of a sudden, they're in the car and they're about to shoot each other. And then the old man says, "Oh, you imagine about Frank Burger?"
You remember the Burger King burger from like 1937?
And that burger was shit.
It was really good. I don't know how I was alive back then, but it was a really good burger.
It was the bee's knees. Kabow! The mist would be way worse.
What's the Miss M. Night Shyamalan?
No, it was Stephen King that he didn't make the film, or he wrote the book. I'm just saying, like, because they're both similar situation horror stories about people surviving a crisis situation. Although I think The Mist was handled way better and had a much better ending than The Happening one.
Do you know the original ending of The Mist, like in the book?
It ended with them just driving in the car, looking for civilization in the mist.
In the actual Mist, like they were forced in the book, and they were forced to set up camp in the mist, like in the forest on the borders of the city, and it just ends with the uncertainty that they're going to be okay, whether they're going to survive or not.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Although I thought they was in the car. They set up camp.
No, I think it was like outside the mist in the forest, and just like this is where they have to set up, or else because like they can't make it.
Well, you don't know. You don't know. It's supposed to end with you not knowing, like, if they die or if they survive.
Think that robs the movie? Like the ending, because like with the
Of The Mist?
Yeah, like with the book, it ends with like I don't know how to describe it. Then like a
Ambiguous.
no, because like it ends with like the guy. It was mercy killings. Like that's what.
Oh, you mean the movie?
Yeah, the movie. Like it was supposed to be like a mercy kill, so then they wouldn't have to endure the horrors that the Mist have. And he's like,
Again, spoilers for The Mist.
yeah, sorry.
Big, gigantic spoilers for The Mist here.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't specify that earlier, but yeah. Like he ends like, and then he like doesn't have a bullet for himself, so he goes like, "Kill me, please kill me." Then you see like this big giant thing just walk by him. He's like, "Sorry, dude, I'm not going to." And then you just see the army just destroying everything. Say, "Hey, we're here to rescue everyone." It feels like a horrible, sad like thing that happened. Like if he just waited one more minute, he could have been saved. And I'm just like, God, that is just so heart wrenching.
Yeah. Well, but what do you mean by it? It takes away? How does the book take away from that?
The book has like ambiguity, and you're not sure if they're gonna be okay. Like it has that sense of mystery. It's like, oh, you don't know if they're gonna survive or if this mist thing is gonna be cleared up or fixed or not.
Yeah.
While like the other one has like a more definitive ending. It's like, yeah, the army came in, they're killing all the insect monsters from the other dimension. By the way, they're from another dimension, and like they're rescuing everyone, and you just killed your people and your.
Well, they don't say directly where the monsters came from, but it's implied that the government opened a dimensional hole. I mean, they kind of say it, but they don't directly.
I forgot his actor's name, and I'm so sorry.
Sam?
The guy from Star Wars.
Yeah, I think his name is Sam.
The model actor for Starkiller and the voice. And, just like he explains that, we tried to create a window into different dimensions, but instead we created we tried to make a window, but like they opened the window or something, like they broke it, and they just came in. Like we tried to make a window, but we made a door. Which I don't know how, like that sounds like a good analogy, but in my mind it's like, how do you make a window? Like when you're trying to make a window in like building construction wise, how do you make a door instead? It just makes me think like, we didn't really think about this.
Well, I don't think they know how portals work.
Yeah, obviously.
Like, portals work both ways? What?
The portals work through both ways? What?
But yeah, no, I don't know. It's sort of like a Stranger's thing, but to fruition. They actually did the whole thing instead of just partial teasing it the whole time.
Well, but I've only seen like maybe bits of the first season.
But the whole point is that the Underdark isn't fully invading Earth. Unlike on The Mist, where The Mist is fully invading Earth at that moment.
Well, specifically that small mountain town.
Yeah, it doesn't say that it got to the whole planet, because it's revealed at the end that the military is basically taking care of it. But that's only in the movie.
Yeah.
So on the original, you don't know if it's the whole Earth.
Also,
You don't know if it's like the entire planet that's been consumed, or if it's like. So I think that. But to get to your point, you were asking if the ending that's more sad from the movie is better or worse, right? That's what you wanted to know?
Yeah, because I'm just thinking, like, because, like, you have that sense of question, mystery, or do you like a more, well, not fulfilling, more like stagnant ending?
No, I wouldn't say stagnant. I'd just say one is full of dread and despair, where you don't know if the whole Earth is like this. You don't know if there's hope for the characters, but you really want these characters to survive. And it leaves room for, like, a next book. And I do like how that like, depending on how it's written, but I do like that idea of it ending on such an ambiguous note that you don't know if it's the whole world that's taken over by the mist, or if it's just this town, and if these people are going to be okay, if they're going to learn how to survive in this new world or not. That's sort of like the ambiguity with something like, what's the game? I just forgot. The fungus zombie game?
Oh, you mean The Last of Us?
Yeah, The Last of Us. It's like, you don't know if these people are going to be alright, but you hope that they can make it in that world, because the world's not going to get fixed. You know? The only thing you know is that the world is not fixed yet. At the end. Hold on. Let me just finish my thing, though. But, so that fills me with, like, dread and despair for the characters, and an unsureness to their predicament that creates intrigue for further stories. While the other one ends on him actually just mercy killing his entire, new family. We'll say new family because they're not his family, but yeah, mercy killing his entire new family, losing all hope and just running out to get killed, and then dramatic reversal, everything was going to be fine. If you just waited, everything was going to be fine. And then that guy gets the biggest kick to the balls any person has ever gotten kicked in the balls in a movie. And he just falls into the fetal position and just can't stop crying, you know? I think that there are two different endings. One is more emotionally impactful because you're like, oh shit, and it's shocking that the government's taking care of it. Oh no, he just killed, like, I was so surprised when he shot his family. Like, what are they doing? Wait, what are you doing? Oh my god, what are you doing with that gun? No! And then you just hear, ka, ka, ka. They didn't show the shooting, obviously.
It wasn't like, ka, ka, ka. It was more like, actually, like...
Oh, it was so sad, though.
It was just, like, really, like realistic, and I'm just like, oh my god, you just went through it?
It made me cry when I saw that. I was so surprised. And then, like, afterward, you're seeing him go out, and he's like, he wants to die and everything. So he's like, kill me, do it. I want you to do it, kill me. And then the military just appears, and it's just like,
we're here to save you. And it's just,
and I'm just left like, oh no, oh my god, no. So I feel like for the film, I get it, that they wanted a more shocking ending to get people to see the movie more. And I agree. I think that works better for the film because it's so shocking and so surprising that nobody saw it coming. There's no way. I don't think anybody, because I didn't see it in a film. I watched it as a movie, like at home. But I didn't see it coming at all. Like, until they pulled out the gun and said, well, this is it. And I'm like, wait, what? But it built up to it because you feel the dread that these people are feeling because of how quickly everybody else dies, you know? And how horribly everybody else dies. So you're like, you get it, but come on, guys. Just go a little bit farther, you know? Just fight. And then I just end up thinking, like, I don't want to go out like that. I want to go. If I was in that situation, I would have just ran out and started shooting the monsters. You know?
It's like, fuck you.
Like, fuck you.
My gun can totally penetrate that.
I don't go silently into the night. No, I go screaming, yelling, and kicking. That's how I'd probably... at very least, I just try to survive. I think kind of like how the other ending is. But then that one is so... I don't know. I feel like the shock and awe is poignant enough for the film but it leaves no room for a sequel. It leaves zero room for a sequel.
Two things. One, apparently they were making like a show version, like for like Amazon or whatever.
Oh, that would be cool. Like if you follow a different family and stuff.
Well, I think it's like the same story, but they're doing it as a show or whatever, or a mini.
Oh, well, I don't know about the same exact story. Well, I guess you have to follow the book.
Yeah.
So,
because that's like the good stuff mouth point, and you can like go off from there. But like the main thing I was gonna say was that I didn't know because I didn't watch it, like knowing that character and that actor. But you know what was it? The captain from Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
oh yeah, he's in the
He's in the movie.
He's in the movie. Yeah.
He's in the movie, and I did not.
He's in
know
the
that.
movie.
I did not know that.
Well, okay, he wasn't famous before, so this is just work that he's done before he got famous in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's always interesting to see. He's like, wait, that.
Oh yeah, looking at it with context, like after way later, you're like, oh, that's the Brooklyn Nine-Nine guy, huh?
It's like, oh look, there's Vin Diesel with hair in this movie.
What movie is that? I don't know.
I don't know. It was actually just the Street Sharks commercial that I was thinking.
Well, that's just Street Sharks. That's
Well,
just
I'm
Vin
saying,
Diesel
like,
in
when you look
general.
at people's younger work, like a young Jack Black playing as a weed dude in like I Always Know What You Did Last Summer, which was a horrible movie, by the way.
That's the second one, not the first one.
Yeah, that's the second one. Like, cause like this. Either way, but like. I didn't know Jack Black was in that movie. I also didn't know that Jack Black played as like a school bully in another movie. And I think like, but like I don't know, because like there's some like sometimes Jack Black gets typecast as like the or like they're very excited. Like,
I think it's partially because of the summer movie, and then also his Tenacious D stuff is why he gets typecast.
oh yeah, that's just Jack Black.
And also School of Rock. I think School of Rock is what really blasted out his career. Starting off.
I mean, that's from what I can tell from what he shows on the internet. That's also just Jack Black.
Oh yeah, no, he's playing himself in most in most media. He's just I'm playing myself, except for maybe King Kong.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I think King Kong was Jack Black's master opus. I think he played that character ridiculously way better than I was expecting. I was like, Jack Black? You got Jack Black to play that guy? Really? Okay. And then I'm like, oh.
Yeah, because, like, I'll say this. Like,
okay, Jack Black, alright. Yeah.
I haven't seen the original King Kong, and I'm pretty sure there have been a bunch of reboots of King Kong.
There have been a lot of remakes. Okay, not a crazy amount, but there's been a good amount.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I haven't seen the original. The only ones I've seen are Peter Jackson's, and the one with Samuel L. Jackson fighting King Kong, then he's like... so, like, comparing the two... Like, of course we did...
Dude, Peter Jackson's is, I think, the better.
Yeah,
out of all of them. I'm not too big on the whole black and white film stuff unless the black and white film is just structurally better. Yeah, like I point towards like Rear Window.
The only black and white film that I've seen that was like really, really good was like 12 Angry Men.
Well, you haven't watched a lot of black and white films though.
I know. I'm just saying. It's one that I watch. I'm like, damn.
And 12 Angry Men is legit. That is one of the.
Men.
Yes, 12 Angry Men is legit. It's one of the masterpieces.
Yeah, it was like a really good film. I'm like, wow, this...
Oh, also, just wanted to say, watch 12 Angry Men. Awesome film. Even compared to modern times, awesome film about just human society and, like, prejudices and a bunch of other stuff.
You know, those people, that sort of thing.
There's spoilers. No spoilers for 12. I don't want to spoil that one. That one, I want you guys to see if you guys haven't seen it.
Line from the movie, I'm like...
I know, but that's a bit of a spoiler. Let's not spoil.
I know. I'm just saying, like, when I heard that movie, it's like, oh my god, this can be placed into any timeline that I can remember.
Yeah.
And it would work.
And any time where the United States government and trials exist, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, this would work. This would definitely work, like, nowadays.
Oh, yeah. That's part of, I think, why it's good. It's just kind of timeless in its story. And it's about... Well, I won't go into too much detail.
Well, yeah, it's just basically like an over-dramatization of... Like,
I wouldn't say overly dramatic, just dramatic.
A dramatization of, like, what juries have to go through.
Well, no. I mean, like, that is real discussions that they do have to go through. It is a bit dramatized, but it's theater. You know, it's a movie.
It's theater.
Well, it's a movie. But yeah, I think it was a theater play before. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, like some great movies. Like,
I could see it go well as a theater play. I think that would be a good watch in a theater.
Well, there have been like always jokes like, "Oh yeah, I did a one-man show of 12 Angry Men," sort of thing like that. I've seen that joke like thousands of times.
That's Tyler Perry. I want to see Tyler Perry do 12 Angry Men. Oh, that would be so hilarious.
All as one person too.
Okay. It'd all be Tyler Perry.
I'm getting the image in my mind now, and
okay, we're at the hour mark. We gotta.
Okay, so I guess we're that Tyler Perry has all 12 Angry Men.
Yeah. How did we get here? I don't.
I don't.
A conversation about what's your favorite movie ended with Tyler Perry doing 12 Angry Men.
But yeah.
Medea's 12
What are we
Angry
talking
Men.
about?
Medea's 12 Angry Men.
How did we get here? Should that be the name of the podcast? How did we get here?
What are we talking about? I don't know. Well, working title.
Where did we talk
Working
about?
title. You guys leave a comment which one you guys like better. And if you guys also leave a comment if you'd like to see 12 Angry Men portrayed by Medea and Tyler Perry.
Yeah. Isn't Medea one of his characters?
That's one of the characters he keeps doing, yes. Medea's 12 Angry Men.
That just reminds me of that fucking, like, Medea of Boo Halloween special. I'm like, what? I thought this thing was like funny, but now you're doing like a horror version with Medea in it? What? I don't know.
A serious political take on all of the racial inequalities and prejudices of the human society and the intricacies of a man's conscience and spirit and the peer pressures of conforming to those societal racial inequalities and pressures. Brought to you by Medea and her fat ass blah blah blahs. I don't know anything about Medea. Political intrigue, social inequalities, and by Medea.
Does he do that in his movies? Because like I've seen jokes of people saying that, and like, of like having like a very
We should end it though. We should end it.
Last question. Does he do that in his movies?
I don't watch Tyler Perry, man.
Neither do I. I'm just saying I see that a lot as a.
I just know that he plays all the characters because he's an amazing businessman. I gotta say, like he took a bunch of money and then turned it into an entire studio because nobody wanted to make his movies, and he made his movies. He's like a legit proper businessman, and I respect him for it. That being said, his movies are like ridiculous and dumb in so many ways, but I think that's part of what makes them like classics. Oh, not all of them, but some of them like classic good films, and I think he's earned his place. But do I think he should be doing a comedic take on 12 Angry Men? I'm gonna say no, but I would probably watch it if it was good. Oh my god.
Well, we'll end that podcast here on that note. 12 Angry Men.
Okay, well, thank you guys all for watching. Like, share, subscribe. I'm Mr.LimeSmiles.
And I'm Julian, that boy.
And we will see you guys on the next one. Peace!
And final question, how did we get here?
Alright, I got it. Go ahead.
And our final question is, how did we get here?
Yeah, I don't know. Talking about favorite movies, and now we're on 12 Angry Men, Medea, Adventure. I don't know. It's crazy. Anyway, peace!
Peace, everybody.